Hello, this is Grant. Welcome back to another episode of Dead Rising 1 Master Run. Today we're going to be killing the convicts and then going on a booze run. In the spirit of the game, I'm actually drinking Empyrean Brewing Company beer while I do this. So I felt I'd like to get in the mood because we're going to go, one, kill the convicts to make things a little bit easier. And we actually need to go pick up Gil, who's an unmarked scoop over in the food court. Luckily, this fits right alongside, I believe it fits Floyd, some really big vocab word I can't ever remember. So, maybe it's just connoisseur, I don't know. But he basically wants us to bring back a bottle of wine or beer or something to kind of calm people's nerves. I don't think a single bottle of wine is going to do much considering we have like, what, 20 or so people in there right now? But Gil's going to have a ton of them next to him because he's absolutely plastered due to the whole zombie thing. I didn't set out to go kill the convicts every time they spawn, but it's just too much of a hassle to take anyone through here with them alive. Maybe if it was like one person, like I could probably do Gil, if it wasn't the fact that they usually spawn over by the food court entrance. But I figured why not? Like I could just go out around and use the shortcut, but I might as well take these out. More PP, and then I can kind of say that I literally did kill every single possible psychopath in the game. I prefer to kill them the first time and then not from there on, because the first time they're very predictable, you can always get them stuck. Other times you can make do with something like this where you get them to keep running into a tree, but you really need a sniper to do much with that, and even then it's kind of hard to kill the gunner or to kill the driver because of that windshield. There's no great way to do it. Here I'm just going to try and peek out and see if I can't get a good shot. Really, if you want to do something better, you can lure them over to the shelter, like I do in my psychopath guide. It's more consistent, but it does take them a while to get over there. That guy with the bat really doesn't pull his weight at all. I get pretty lucky here, and they're just kind of doing nothing. Or I should have stayed on the side. So again here, it does a lot of damage, but it doesn't really hit the driver with any of it. And I've had the case before, like if you have the Mega Buster, you can actually kill the car before you kill the guys in it. To be fair, it's really easy after that because they're just sitting still. But it's not the most efficient strategy. So what I can kind of do here is I was hoping to grab the gun and using that to kill him. You can normally do it if he's not backing you up like that. And that's by far probably the strongest gun in the game, excluding the Mega Buster. I got really lucky with a nice little headshot there. I've been told you can get survivors in these cars, particularly the Humvee and I think the white sedan under Paradise Plaza. Personally, never done it. And it's never really worth it. Maybe, the only way I can see is if you have a survivor here after killing the convicts, they might as well hop in. But really, the vehicles are not in convenient enough places. Like, it's pretty rare. Like, when do you ever take a survivor from Paradise Plaza anywhere else? There's Isabella, but she takes her own pathing, so you can't really decide where to go. I don't know. I feel like they're meant to do more. Like maybe they put the cars in and then they realize that they're kind of overpowered, so they don't want you to use them all the time. In Dead Rising 2, they changed it where in that game they have cash, and it costs like $6 million to unlock a car, but there's plenty around. And if you're doing good, you might get, what, 1 to 2 million per run through of the game. So you either have to go play online or farm it. Farming is not terrible in that game. It just kind of sucks having to sit there and do that. And like, because the main way you farm it is just sitting at one of the slot machines with all the gambling books and keep hitting X. I think this is kind of a cool little scenario. He's really out of the way. Like, no, I never come through the food court. This is basically because if you're over to the right, like in Wonderland, you'll just take the shortcut, and you never go to Alfresca either. Or even if you do, you probably take it from the entrance plaza, because that's going to be straight from the Paradise Plaza exit, instead of going all the way around like this. I think it's pretty obvious that this entire area was designed for the food court Carlito fight, and they don't really have much else for it. Same thing with the movie theater. Like, I think it was there for I don't know, maybe thematic purposes, like if this was based off an actual mall, maybe they had a movie theater and they wanted to include it. But really, it's like, it's there and it's really well and intricately designed, but nothing takes place there besides the one scoop. I know, I always like doing this mission. I don't know why, I think maybe it's just kind of funny, some cool dialogue. You get a nice little photo. Plus it's easy and it's so convenient, because you always have to go get a bottle of wine here anyway for Floyd. I think it's Smollier. I think that's what they call them for the scoop. So I originally tried to get him through here with the convicts, but that's pretty difficult, so do not recommend it. If you can just not get their attention, you'll be fine. But usually that's quite difficult, because if they decide to go on you, they will not leave you alone. Supposedly the convicts escaped from like either a prison or a military base. I know they got the Humvee at a military base, and they somehow drove it in the mall instead of out of town. It seems like even if they're crazy like that, just shooting zombies would be pretty boring. You kind of want to actually escape. I wouldn't know though. My personal life is pretty far from the life of a convicted felon living in a zombie apocalypse. Or at least for now. Tomorrow's a different day. Gil's got a great walk. I would love to see like an official breakdown of this by the team that made it. I don't know if there's like an actual strategy guide out there or something officially put together. But there's so many small details that I'm sure would be amazing to know, just in terms of like mechanics and whatnot, that are just too obscure to really get at from testing. Especially considering how kind of small scale this game is. Like the fact that I can do this all in one run is kind of disappointing. Like I was hoping there's going to be more challenge to it. So a ton of times. It's like, in a way, isn't that a good criticism? My only complaint is that there's not more of the game. So there's that. Although to be fair, I mean it's hard to complain. I also got this game for like $10. And I think it was totally would be worth a $60 purchase. If it was like the first game you got for your Xbox, and there was like only a couple other things out at the time, I would totally be able to play this like all the time. I could easily see like if you're like a kid, maybe if you're like, I don't know, 8 to 13 and you just have a ton of time but only a single game, going through and mapping out Infinity Mode would be pretty fun. I never got into doing like those game facts, like strategy guides and whatnot. I wasn't playing much at the time, and those were popular, but I always kind of appreciate the guys that did that. Like, it's kind of so cool to see how some people can be so in love with a game. Particularly, I know I came across one for Final Fantasy 13-2, where that game kind of suffered from a similar issue where there was mechanics in the game that are awesome, but you never needed to make use of them because the game was fairly easy. Or the best way to get stronger was grinding, not abusing fancy mechanics. But you could tell this guy, who he just had obviously loved the game so much and was so thorough.
I'll get you back. Man, you saved my life.
Alright, we're going to go ahead and wrap up here. So, again, tell me if anything you want me to talk about in this episode. I'm having a great time going through the game. I'm pretty sure it's Floyd the Smollier. I'm pretty sure, but I'm probably going to look that up afterwards. But alright, I'm Grant. This is the Dead Rising 1 Master Run, and don't take your drunk zombie booze runs for granted.